everyone, open your eyes. Lorraine, what are you feeling?
I think you're all very cruel. Playing very cruel games. You made Mary cry.
That isn't so. Can't you see, Lorraine? Ever since Charlie died, I never thought I'd be able to reach out to another human being. You know why you can't see it? You're uptight. You're afraid to have a man touch you.
Lorraine.
I'm exhausted with all this.
Well, that's the whole point. Doc keeps the therapy going around the clock all weekend long. So we're too tired to keep our defenses up.
You know, Ruth would never let me hug her. She always kind of wriggled away as though she had something more important to do.
That's a cop-out, Ken. I mean, we've all heard about your wife and her lover ad infinitum. Why don't you just get off the dime?
You mean get a divorce? That's what you're talking about. That's what I'd be worth, a dime. Now, she gets half of everything, right? Okay? House, it's already in her name. Car, that's hers, too. Now, I am left living on a lousy boat. And I probably have to sell that to pay the lawyers.
What about love, Ken? Oh, isn't there any love left?
Hey, lady, don't ask me the tough ones. That's why I'm here. Trying to get a handle. You know? Now, sometimes, when I think about her and that guy, my house, my bed, I want to kill her.
That's a terrible thing to say, Ken. You don't mean that.
No, let him talk. Let him get it out. Go on, Ken. You can do that here without being ashamed of how you feel. That's why we're here.
What's the matter?
It's my heart.
Again?
Oh, for Pete's sake, Lorraine. You spent practically your entire adult life taking electrocardiograms. There's nothing wrong with your heart.
Oh, you're just like my mother. And everybody else. Nobody believes my problem is physical. My medicine is at home. I need it.
Hypochondriacs.
Lorraine, your leaving is against all the rules of the marathon.
It's just a 2-hour drive. I'll be back in the morning.
All right. All right, everybody up. We'll try a new game. Let's make a circle.
I'm just getting into the tub, Wally. Oh, but if you hurry over, you'll have time to make yourself a before-dinner drink or scrub my back, whichever turns you on.
Ruth, baby, you sure give a fella some difficult choices to make.
So far, you've been making all the right ones, darling. Soon.
Bye, baby.
Who the hell are you?
He deserves a lot better than you.
take messages, huh? I'll be staying in the boat at the marina if anybody needs me.
Okay.
Mr. Scanlon? Barnaby, Jones.
Oh, yeah, the investigator about Ruth's policy.
This is my associate, Jedediah Jones.
Sorry to hear about your wife.
Thank you. Look, when that girl from California Meridian called to say you'd be stopping by, I told her I already gave a full statement to the police yesterday.
Yeah, I know. We picked up a copy on our way over.
Well, it's all there. There isn't much more I can tell you.
Just a couple of things I'd like to clear up in my mind. You told the investigating officer that you were away Saturday night when your wife's accident occurred? The marathon group therapy weekend?
Dr. Ryan had a bunch of us up to the lodge at Lake Crystal. Yeah, that's right.
Dr. Ryan.
Eric Ryan. He's a psychologist.
And you didn't leave the group and return to town until yesterday, which was Sunday afternoon.
Nobody knew how to get in touch with me until somebody got a hold of my secretary. Sunday morning, I came back immediately.
This Wallace Brooks who found your wife's body, is he a friend of the family?
No, he's Ruth's friend. You see, Ruth and I were separated.
I see. Did you know that you're still the beneficiary of your wife's policy?
Yes. Look, it was a trial separation, and we hadn't gotten around to changing policies. Will, is something wrong?
Are you aware, Mr. Scanlon, that your wife's policy carried a double indemnity clause in the event of accidental death?
Yes, I am. I guess I just hadn't given it much thought.
Well, insurance companies are kind of, picky about $200,000.
Yeah, I can understand that. Look, I was due at my lawyer's office 10 minutes ago.
I'm sorry, we didn't mean to keep you. You mind if we take a look around?
Not at all.
You see, Mr. Jones, ordinarily, it's hard to slip on one of these mats. Except Mrs. Scanlon used so much of that bubble bath powder, it made it slippery. I warned her if she used too much of that powder, she was going to break her. I warned her.
Do you mind if I see for myself?
What do you mean?
Pour a little of powder in there. Let me see how slippery it gets.
Where is it? It's not here. The bottle's gone. She always kept it right there on the edge of the tub.
Did you clean up in here after the body was removed?
Oh, no. I couldn't bring myself to touch anything. Gives me the creeps being here even now.
Well, there's no bath towels in here either, but the police didn't take anything.
Funny. I put up a fresh towel for the missus right before I left for the night.
There's nothing in here.
What is it?
It's like small pieces of broken glass.
Perfume?
Not good enough for perfume.
Oh, it's the bubble bath powder. The bottle must have gotten broken.
That might explain the missing towel.
Yeah, she must have used it to clean up the mess.
But where can it all be? I emptied the trash, Mr. Jones, and I didn't find any towel or powder or broken bottle.
Lady dies in a bubble bath. No towel. No bubble bath powder.
Bubble powder? What do I know about junk like that? Look, man, as soon as I got there, I found Ruth. I found her in the tub. I called the police. I didn't see a broken bottle. I didn't see a towel. I didn't see anything.
Hardly seems likely that Mrs. Scanlon would get out of her bath, leave the house to get rid of the mess, and then get back in the tub now, does it?
What difference does it make? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're saying that someone else was there? That maybe it wasn't an accident?
Possible.
What do you mean, a burglar? Someone like that?
Well, the maid said she locked up before she left for the night. Police didn't find any signs of burglar, no valuables missing.
Then who?
Maybe somebody got in the same way you did with the key.
Whatever you guys are thinking. I loved her.
Relax, relax.
We're just touching all the bases.
All right, then go stick your spikes into that crumb husband of hers.
The problem is that Ken Scanlon was 100 miles away at the time of his wife's death.
Sure he was. With that girlfriend of his. Probably figuring how to shaft Ruth into making all the house payments and everything else. Well, they got it all now.
He has a girlfriend.
Who would that be?
She was supposed to have been a friend of Ruth's. Some friend. Ken and Ruth had this big fight, and the way that gal acted, it was easy to see whose side she was on.
Remember her name?
He ran into her that one time. I don't know, Cindy, Sandy, Sally. That's it. Sally something or other.
Ken?
Hi, Sal.
I tried reaching you at the house. Then Maud told me. Oh, Ken, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Thanks, Sally.
I know how you must feel.
Do you? I mean, well, you knew us almost better than anyone.
Ken, accidents happen.
I used to think it. I even said it once. But I really didn't want her dead, Sally. Not really.
I know that. Ken, don't dwell on the guilt. There's no way you can blame yourself for what happened. Hey, look, I dropped my sketches off at the agency, and I don't have another appointment till 4, so if you're up to having lunch...
Not today, Sally.
Don't shut me out. You need to be around friends who love you.
I know, and I appreciate it. Maybe in a few days.
Okay. Don't try to get through this alone. Call me.
She's pretty, Ken. Was that Sally, the girl you mentioned in group?
Lorraine, what are you doing here?
Somebody has to clean up after you. That was Sally, wasn't it?
Yes. Now, look, I appreciate you wanting to help. But like I told you on the phone last night when you called.
Oh, the police were there. I know that, well, that you couldn't really be yourself.
Lorraine, look, what happened between us last week?
Kenneth, it was beautiful. I had to bite my tongue to keep from telling everybody at the marathon weekend about it. I'd always dreamed it would happen. 2 people finding each other. And until I ran into you at the Red Sail last week, I'd almost given up.
Well, we were both a little high, and I was at loose ends and lonely, and I just had another argument with Ruth.
There's something I didn't tell you. It was the first time for me, Kenneth. I'd never been with a man before that night. And it was like being born again.
Lorraine, what I'm trying to say is, last week was last week.
Don't make me angry, Kenneth. If there's one thing I hate, it's gratuitous cruelty.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm tired. Nothing's in focus.
Of course you are. And I really don't know why you're going on this way. You wanted to be free, didn't you?
What kind of thing is that to say?
Well, you said it yourself. At every group session, you complained about what a divorce from Ruth would cost, and now you don't have to worry about it anymore.
That was just an exercise in working out your feelings. That doesn't mean I go out and kill her.
I know. You're really a very fine person, you know that? And if Ruth hadn't drowned, you would have gone on the way you were, suffering.
Drowned? Where'd you get that?
Well, she died in her bath, didn't she?
Yes, but only the police and Maud know it was from drowning and not from hitting her head when she fell.
I guess I just assumed it. Look, I know you have a lot of loose ends to pull together, so I'll call you tomorrow. Kenneth, isn't it wonderful to know we're going to be so happy together?
And this is Sunday afternoon, I believe, just before Ken got word of his wife's accident. Excuse me, that's my next patient. I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, I can't talk with you anymore.
All right, doctor, you've been a great help.
Ken, this isn't your time, is it?
I have to talk to you, Doctor.
He asked if he could have Mary Garrett's cancellation. I thought it would be all right.
Yes, of course. Come on in.
Oh, Mr. Scanlon, I'm glad I ran into you.
What are you doing here, Mr. Jones? Checking up on me?
It's all part of the job. Apparently, Jedediah missed you at the marina.
What was he gonna do, give me a lie detector test?
No, but there are a couple of questions that popped up that require answering.
Like what?
Well, for one, apparently there was someone in your wife's house between the time the maid left and the time that Wally Brooks found her body.
What's that gonna give you? Could have been one of her friends dropping by.
Sally, maybe?
Sally Delphine?
Delphine. It's your last name. It's the reason I sent Jedediah to find you. And her address.
322 Valero Village Road. But I don't think it could have been Sally. She and Ruth were on the outs.
Well, never can tell about friends. Thank you.
Ken, the hour's almost up, and all you've done is skirt around the edges. Now, what's really on your mind?
Hypothetical situation. Guy bumps into a girl down at one of those swinging bars, like the Red Sail at the marina.
Stranger?
Well, not exactly. A few drinks, some small talk, and it's off on a midnight cruise.
Just a cruise?
Well, let's say the guy is not exactly a monk.
Then call it what it is.
Okay, casual affair, but turned out to be not so casual for the girl. And she made a big thing out of it, like Romeo and Juliet stuff.
It happens. Someone lonely, desperate, fantasizes more out of a situation than there really is.
This guy could handle that. But say he's been mouthing off. He's angry. He wishes something could be done to get a burden off his back. It's crazy.
Go on, finish your thought.
Well, you know how some alley cats are sometimes? I mean, you put a bowl of milk out for them and they kill a bird for you. They drop it at your feet to show gratitude or something. Could she do that? Take a dumb wish you might have made in a moment of self-pity and then go out and commit?
Who's the girl?
My mind's mush. I may just be imagining this.
Ken, is this something the police should know about?
I can't say just yet. Let me get my head together first, huh?
Seen it in the movies, and I read it in mystery books, but I never honestly thought a detective would have any reason to ask me where I was on some night or other.
The night was Saturday, to be exact, between 7 and 8. It could be a big help.
But do you really think you can make anything out of a towel and a bottle of bubble bath powder being missing?
Wouldn't be able to tell you until I find out who took the item from Mrs. Scanlon's bathroom.
Well, it certainly wasn't me. I spent the evening at home going over a program for a fashion show I'd organized for Sunday morning.
Well, didn't you talk to someone during that time? Did a neighbor drop in or something?
Mr. Jones, I don't think this is funny anymore.
It never was funny, since we're dealing with the possibility of murder.
I spoke to no one. I saw no one. Is that all?
Now, there's one other thing that I'm curious about. I understand that you and Mrs. Scanlon had a fight recently. You want to talk a little about that?
How did you know? Oh, yes, I remember. Ruth's boyfriend was there.
I understand what you fought about was Mrs. Scanlon's husband.
Yes. But it wasn't the way Wally Brooks probably made it sound. I felt Ruth was being unreasonable about Ken, bleeding him the way she was. And I didn't mind saying so.
Isn't that a little chancy, friend stepping in between a feuding husband and wife? Or was your stake a little more personal?
I guess it does show, doesn't it, Mr. Jones?
You were in love with Ken?
Until the last few days, I didn't realize how much. Trouble is, he's not interested in me that way.
Another woman?
Oh, no. At least I don't think so.
What I'm saying is true, Dr. Ryan. I'm cured, so I don't need to come and see you anymore.
In just 7 or 8 short weeks.
I thought you'd be pleased.
Well, tell me, how did this cure come about?
I found someone. A wonderful man, and we've fallen in love.
Congratulations. Who's the lucky fella? Someone I know?
Oh, no. If I tell you, you'll spoil it. Just like my mother always does. Every time I like someone, she tries to frighten me. She tells me how hateful men are.
That's one of the problems I want to help you work through here.
I don't have any problems anymore. And neither does he. You see, it's like we've solved each other's problems.
Sounds so simple.
It was. We made each other's dreams come true.
How?
It was terribly romantic. The moonlight on the water, the boat gently rocking. He taught me the real meaning of love, and in return, I released him of a terrible burden.
What sort of burden?
I really only came by to tell you I was leaving to thank you, Dr. Ryan, even though you've been rather cruel sometimes.
That's it. You two just sail off on that boat into the sunset.
I imagine after we're married, we'll settle down in a cottage somewhere, maybe in the hills, and raise children. Bye.
Lorraine, the red sail turned out to be a lucky spot for you, didn't it?
Red sail. I didn't mention red sail.
You did at other times. That was the bar you occasionally frequented down by the marina. Oh, marina, boats. I just guessed at it.
Huh?
Barnaby Jones Investigations, may I help you?
Yeah, this is Dr. Eric Ryan. I'd like to speak with Mr. Jones.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Ryan. He's not in at the moment. I do expect him in the next 15, 20 minutes.
Fine, it'll take me about that long to get there. What is your address?
I just can't believe anybody would intentionally harm the doctor. Everyone admired him so.
You say you usually left around 6 o'clock. Was he all right then?
Was there anything on his mind that might have been worrying?
No. He was able to get tickets to the Philharmonic concert last night. He was in a great mood.
He made an entry in the appointment book, the effect that he was just finishing up with his last patient, Mr. Jenner, about the time you left.
At 6 o'clock, yes.
Well, Dr. Ryan was hit around 7. Now, that doesn't suggest somebody rushing home to get dressed for a concert, does it?
Oh, he had to wait for another patient. Well, she only wanted a few minutes of his time, so I didn't mark it for billing.
Who was it?
Lorraine Rivers. She's one of his group therapy patients.
Is she in this picture?
Yes, that's Lorraine.
Well, sounds like somebody we should definitely talk to, Barnaby.
Very comforting having you for an associate, Jedediah. You take all the heavy decisions off my shoulders. What is the young lady's address?
I'll get it for you.
Hello, darling. How do you like your eggs? Over easy or well done?
You said you were going to call first, Lorraine.
Did, but you've been out. You hungry? I bought lots of yummy things.
Do you know about this?
Yes. Isn't it terrible? Life is so unpredictable. That's why we have to make the most of it. Let's see, did I leave anything out? Coffee, tea? For me.
The night Ruth died, you left that marathon late that afternoon with that phony heart attack.
Phony! Kenneth, you're the last person I'd expect to hear that from.
You get a lot of sympathy mileage out of that imaginary heart condition, don't you? And it also turned out to be convenient. It got you to Ruth's place without anyone being the wiser.
I went home for my medicine. For these. Look.
There's a detective named Jones. He thinks that somebody was in that house before Wally Brooks found the body. It was you, wasn't it? Using the keys you must have taken from my jacket. That's why I couldn't find them.
Why are you saying these things to me? Don't you remember? You found your keys under your car seat where you dropped them.
That's exactly where I found them. Where you dropped them after you came back from killing Ruth.
Well, I'm starved, even if you're not. What right have you to be so outraged? You wanted her dead, didn't you? You wanted to be free.
Not that way.
Don't you see, Kenneth? I did it for us. We can be married now.
At first, I couldn't even make myself believe it. I even asked Dr. Ryan if such a thing was possible.
Well, that's why he asked me all those questions.
You saw Ryan after I did?
You shouldn't have done it, Kenneth. If I hadn't have stopped him, he would have gone to that detective and told him everything.
Ryan. It was you.
He would have ruined our one big chance for happiness. What are you doing?
Operator, give me the police.
Don't do that! They'll put us away for the rest of our lives!
Mean us.
I did it for you, because you wanted it.
You don't think they're going to buy that?
I had nothing to gain otherwise. The insurance money, the house, everything goes to you. If I didn't kill a woman I'd never met before for you, then why else would I do it?
No. Sir? No, it was a mistake.
I cannot imagine what's keeping Lorraine. She knows I get very weak when I don't eat my meals on time. Diabetic. I'm on a strict diet, you see.
Well, maybe she ran into a friend.
Yes, maybe it might be better if we came back at another time, Mrs. Rivers.
Are you sure there isn't anything I can help you with, Mr. Jones?
Well, like I said, it's about a meeting Lorraine had with Dr. Ryan.
Well, I don't wish to speak unkindly of the dead. But in my opinion, all those people that tinker with the mind are charlatans, pure and simple.
Then you didn't approve of her seeking help?
It made her more of a hypochondriac than she is. The last time they got together, she rushed home with another one of her attacks.
Talking about the marathon session in the woods?
I warned her about spending all that time with those mixed-up people.
You say rushed home. Was that Sunday evening?
No, that was Saturday evening. Then she turned around and went right back up there Sunday morning.
Mother, whose car is that parked outside?
Oh, they're here about Dr. Ryan's accident. Mr. Jones and
JR's fine.
Dr. Ryan's accident. I'm really sorry about that, but I don't see how I can help.
Well, as far as we know, you were the last person to see him alive.
You have any idea why I made a call to our office?
Well, he didn't make any calls while I was there. Then it wasn't a session. I left after only a few minutes.
Do you mind telling us what you talked about?
I decided to tell him that I was giving up therapy. You'll be happy to hear that, Mother.
Indeed I am.
Did it have anything to do with why you left the marathon Saturday night?
Oh, no, that was something else. I had to come home to get some medicine that I was out of.
And you certainly made a racket doing it. You should be quieter when you come in that late, dear.
How late was it?
Well, it takes nearly 2 hours for the drive, and I left the group around 5.
Well, that would mean that your mom went to bed just before 7.
Mother usually dozes off right after dinner. So you see, I didn't get home as late as she makes it sound. Are there any more questions?
Yes. Are you aware that the bandage is about to come off your knee?
Thank you.
There is one other question. How well do you know Ken Scanlon?
Ken who?
The guy in your group. You know, whose wife died of an accident.
Oh, we know each other by first names mostly. No, I hardly know him at all.
Well, thank you very much. Goodbye, Mrs. River.
Goodbye.
We'll find our way up.
I missed something, Barnaby?
You know what stumps me is what reason the killer could have had for removing the broken bottle from Mrs. Scanlon's bathroom.
Well, maybe the killer didn't want to leave any trace of having been there. Nah, Ruth Scanlon could have broken the bottle herself.
Think about this for a minute. Supposing that after the blow on Mrs. Scanlon's head, supposing the killer kneeled down to get the leverage to push her hand underwater, and in so doing got a cut on the knee.
Lorraine? What motive could Lorraine have?
Now, wait a minute. We're getting the cart before the horse. We got to tie in some other things first. Did Heinemann Optics bring back my microscope?
No, but they did send over the loaner.
Good. Now, when we get back to the office, I want you to leap over to Ryan and ask his secretary to loan us the photographs of the marathon group.
All right.
Ken? Where were you? You missed our lunch date.
Oh, Sam. Oh, I'm sorry.
I've been calling. Then I went over to the boat. I thought you were ill or something.
Was there anyone there?
At the boat? No. Should there be?
No. I just thought there was another boat owner who wanted to borrow something.
You're not in any trouble, are you? Because of that detective who's been investigating the accident?
It's a long story, Sal. Can't explain now.
Okay. I'm the patient type. It's just that I do care about you very much. There. I wanted to say that for a long time.
I guess I have, too.
That's all I really wanted to hear.
Here's number 10. There are only 6 slides left.
Same as the others. Glass slivers, bubble bath powder, no blood.
Barnaby, isn't it possible that all the glass with blood was cleared away and the slivers that you found were never stained in the first place?
Or that I'm way off base in my theory of how Lorraine got her knee cut.
Barnaby, here's those pictures.
Yes, now, according to Dr. Ryan, this one was taken on Saturday, this one on Sunday. You notice the difference?
Bunch of people.
I noticed it when I first saw him, but I didn't connect it with anything. The picture taken on Saturday, Lorraine does not have a bandage on her knee, but on Sunday she does.
Oh, yeah? Well, that would mean that between the time these two pictures were taken, she cut her knee.
The only thing is, we haven't been able to place her knee in Mrs. Scanlon's bathroom.
I think we can now, Barnaby.
Blood?
Take a look.
Well, I don't see what difference it makes, even if that is Lorraine's blood type. Lots of people have the same blood type.
You know, he's right, Barnaby. It's all very circumstantial.
Yeah, but it might be just enough to scare up a killer.
Hello? Hello?
Mr. Scanlon?
Oh, it's you. Come on in.
This is my associate, Jedediah Jones.
What do you want now, Jones?
Jedediah had a theory about your wife's death, which didn't impress me, but he insisted on trying it out on you.
Yeah, well, without beating around the bush, Mr. Scanlon, we have the evidence that's going to put you and Lorraine Rivers away for the murder of your wife.
Well, that's ridiculous.
That's what I told him when he heard that Lorraine had left the marathon by herself and could have been at your wife's place at the time of her accident.
Using your own key to get in.
That's just not true.
Just plain bullheadedness. That's always been Jedediah's problem. Man stands to pick up $200,000 from insurance from his wife's death, and he starts thinking about murder plot.
Well, it all fits. You get your girlfriend a killer, and you both live richly ever after.
You almost had me convinced, at least enough to try it out on the police, but we wanted to try it out on you first.
Okay. Okay. Whatever happens, I'm glad this nightmare's over. But you gotta believe one thing. I didn't give Lorraine the key. She took it.
Are you saying she acted on her own?
She's crazy. I mean, she gets things in her head. She thinks we're in love.
Why didn't you tell this to the police?
Because she said she'd swear I was in it with her. I mean, she's really flipped her mind. Oh, look at this. Now, she saw Sally with me only once, and I just found that.
Where is Sally now?
Well, she should be home. I was calling her when you came in.
Maybe you better try again. Does Lorraine know where Sally lives?
I don't know. But I can't find my address book.
I think we ought to get right over there.
I have to talk to you about Kenneth.
Who are you?
You can't have both of us. You're gonna have to give him up.
You said you wanted to talk?
Talk with sweet words. The sweet words you used to trap men with. You've known happiness with a lot of men, haven't you? Oh, please. I bet there's one joy you haven't known. That delicious moment of being with the one very, very special man you've waited for all your life. And you can't have him.
Go to a phone and call the police.
Sally! Sally!
Watch it.
You get out of here!
Sally!
Lorraine, you don't want to use that knife, do you?
I'll kill anyone that comes between Ken and me.
Like Ruth? Dr. Ryan?
Kenneth understands that, don't you, Kenneth? Stay back.
It's all been for nothing, Lorraine. Ken doesn't love you the way you love him.
Yes, he does. I know he loves me.
Tell her, Ken.
Don't listen to him, Kenneth. He's just like all the others.
Ken.
Yes, Mr. Jones is right.
No.
It's like I told you before. That night, it meant nothing to me.
You're lying. You're just saying that because he wants you to.
I didn't mean to hurt you. But I didn't love you either.
It's all your fault. He loves me. I know he loves me. I know he loves me. He loves me. I know he loves me.
Fine boat. Excellent food. Good company. Kind of spoil the man for going to work.
And if I know that man, let's see, a fishing pole, a ticket to a baseball game, and any month with the letter R will do the same thing.
Become a charter member of my Lazy Man's Club, Barnaby, and you get something that makes you immune to criticism like that.
What's that?
Earplugs.
I can't help wondering, Barnaby, what's going to become of Lorraine?
Well, that's hard to say. I don't think the doctors who are treating her now know themselves and probably won't for years.
Well, thank you again, all of you.
Yeah. Let's all do this again, soon.
That'd be nice.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Say, how about our Chicago Christopher Columbus here, hmm? Where'd you learn to handle a boat like that?
Oh, well, there's this little pond we've got back home. We'll call it Lake Michigan.
Figured you're the one with your hands in the till. How'd you pick the lock?
It's a piece of cake. Look, Farinelli's got himself a sweet thing going here. You get what, maybe $250,000 a month coming through in uncut stones? Huh?
Okay, empty your pockets on a crate.
Look, come on, Lee. All I'm doing is skimming a couple of grand a month. Now, I figure I got some bargaining position here, right?
I said empty your pockets. Now move. Nice and easy. don't turn around. All right, Stevens. Now we're gonna take a little ride to Mr. Farinelli's house. Now move.
Hi.
Hello.
Not finished yet?
Oh, just 5 more minutes. What'd you do today? Did you keep yourself busy?
No. But they say a ship will be unloading end of next week. Maybe I can get a day or two's work then.
Hey, why don't you go pick up some Chinese food at Chang's?
Great idea. I'll meet you at the corner, okay?
Okay.
Come on, Lee. Come on, give me a break. Look, Farinelli doesn't know about this. I mean...
Lee! You all right? He hurt you, Lee?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Why was he fighting with you?
Look, it was just an argument, but I'll take care of it. Now, thanks, Tom.
Lee, he's not breathing.
I said I'll take care of it. Now, will you just go?
Lee, there's blood. I didn't want to hurt him.
Will you forget what you saw and go?
I was only trying to help.
You're right. You're right, he's not breathing. He's dead.
Dead? I didn't mean to kill him.
No. Hey, it's not your fault. Yeah, he hit his head. And you were just trying to help me, right? Yeah. Okay, now I'm not gonna let you down. I'm not gonna let them say you were, some dummy and had a little bit too much muscle and they're gonna throw you in a nut house. Now look, I want you to get out of here now and keep quiet. Now go. Will you just get out of here now? Go on.
Chang's. You didn't forget, did you?
No, I'm going now.
Tom, is something wrong? Tom, your hands are bleeding. What have you been doing?
I cut myself up. I didn't do anything.
Substantive law defines what is it?
The content of the norms of behavior that are to be legally enforced.
The content of the norms of behavior legally enforced. Okay, adjective, law. Oh, boy, the things you gotta memorize to be a lawyer.
Well, if it helps, keep thinking about all those fat fees you're going to be able to charge once you pass the bar.
And the things you'll be able to spend them on. Beautiful girls, expensive yachts, fine cars.
Well, that's the business to be in right there. You open your morning mail and you find money in it.
The letter's unsigned, and there's $195.
Ah, an unsigned letter. Somebody empties their piggy bank to hire a private eye? It's perfectly clear to me, sweetheart. Damsel in distress. It's a silent plea for help.
You know, JR, there is one profession you should stay away from.
What's that?
Well, it's not law.
Dear Mr. Jones, a man named John Stevens has disappeared from his job at Farinelli Freight Company Pier. I hope this money is sufficient to employ you to investigate the matter.
All right, thumbnails get to the sender and I get the job, okay? Okay.
Sex of the sender, female, because most desperate females, when they're in trouble, don't know where to lean.
Oh, chauvinist.
Defend yourself, chauvinist.
Okay, piggy bank aspect. $195, not $200. It's a woman who's finding it difficult to make ends meet.
No, for the don't know where to lean sex.
Know what I mean, sex?
All righty. Proficient typist, possibly a secretary. The heading's properly spaced. There are no corrections or misspellings. Obviously not a law student. Let's see, the paper's of good quality. There's a watermark we should be able to trace. I would say odds are 5 to 1. The person is working age. Probably used a company typewriter, not electric, but an old standard. And used company stationery because the heading has been trimmed off.
Mm-hmm, that it has. But the thing is, why would he or she pay for what they can get for nothing by just calling the Police Missing Persons Bureau?
And that looks like our $195 question.
Mr. Farinelli. Now, you wait here.
Look, I'm scared, Lee. What if Mr. Farinelli doesn't give me a job like you said, huh?
Tommy, I said I'll look after you. That'll be okay. Good morning, Mr. Farinelli. Well, I brought him.
Yes, I see. Eddie and me, we were just discussing your problem. Your problem you had with that thief, Stevens, the other night.
Well, as I told Eddie, I tried to bring Stevens here so you could question him, but the big ape just jumped me.
Well, our concern now is that maybe Stevens isn't in it alone, that perhaps he was in it with somebody else who also discovered that we're bringing in the diamonds.
Meaning you made a big mistake not letting me handle Stevens. 5 minutes alone with him, I would have had him coughing up the story of his life.
We don't have to worry about Stevens working with some other people. He was a loner, Mr. Farinelli.
You know it's my nature to worry, Lee. Like that young man, for instance. I worried that you needed his help in disposing of Stevens.
Tom thought I needed his help. He saw the guy jump me, and he just came barging in.
Oh, that's why you're setting him up with a job on the pier. Because he's a good Samaritan.
I want him on the pier so I can keep him close.
Because you and Tom were friends when you were boys. And that's a very good reason to want to protect the young man. But it's no way to conduct a business.
Okay, but having some insurance is. I mean, Tom thinks he killed Stevens. Now, if it ever comes down to it, he takes the rap, we're all off the hook.
All right. We'll see. Young man. Tom, I've seen so little of you since Peggy came to work for me in the office.
Yeah, well, I...
Now, you'll both be working for me. Now, I hope that pleases you.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it sure does. Hey, I really want to thank you, Mr. Barnaby.
Thank you, Tom. Look, you can wait outside for Lee, huh?
Yeah, I'll wait for you outside. Thank you, sir.
Oh, boy, this guy's really lost his marbles.
No, he's not dumb. He just can't remember well, that's all.
It's an accident. That Vietnam War, his wife Peggy tells me.
Yeah, it was a concussion. A mine went off under his Jeep.
Well, we must all do what we can do to protect these young men. Now, thank you, Lee.
Yes, sir.
Eddie, perhaps you could also be of some help down at the pier for the next few days.
Keeping an eye on who?
Whoever.
There are always a zillion forms to fill out.
Hey, let's celebrate tonight, huh? Steak and champagne.
How about if we wait until you get your first paycheck?
Okay.
You know, Lee got you this job pretty sudden-like.
Well, he's my best friend, that's why.
Well, I just meant that you've asked him before to give you steady work. Did you do something to make him change his mind?
No. Of course not.
finish filling out these forms, okay?
Okay.
May I help you?
Yes, my name is Barnaby Jones. I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a man named John Stevens. I understand he's an employee here.
Well, yes, he is an employee, but he hasn't been to work since last Thursday.
No word from him at all?
No, he didn't phone in. He started working for us 6 months ago. And before that, he was a merchant marine.
Any family?
No, he didn't list any. And here's the address he gave us, 220 14th Avenue.
Thank you very much,
Mrs. Landry.
Mrs. Landry. Nobody made any attempt to find out why he didn't come to work?
No, it's really not unusual for a warehouse workman, especially one who's single, just to decide not to come to work for a while.
I admire the way you contain your curiosity. You didn't ask me why I wanted to find him at all.
Well, I figured a private investigator likes to keep things private.
Thank you.
Look, Tommy, there could be 16 reasons why somebody's trying to find out about Stevens. I mean, he could have run out on his old lady. He could have ripped someone off, and they're trying to pay him back.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Now, that's just the point. You only have to think about one thing. Nobody, absolutely nobody's going to believe your word that it was an accident that night.
They might believe your word if you told them everything that happened, you know?
If they know that we're best of friends, they'll think I'm lying. Will you just trust me? I mean, really trust me.
Sure.
All right, now come on. Go back to work and finish those forms.
Okay, thanks.
Seen him since Thursday morning.
Thursday, yeah, that's the day he was going out to work, and I says, hey, Mr. Stevens, how about the rent? He says, Cooley dropped dead. Then he smiles and blows.
Mr. Cooley, you seem to know Mr. Stevens fairly well. Did he have friends who used to drop in?
Oh, he had friends, all right, that would drop in. You know, the kind of friends that leave him limping and promising even worse if he doesn't pay up.
Loan sharks.
Yeah.
Was he in debt to them a lot?
Well, now, this clown had bet on anything. If he was in the chips at Top City, it didn't make any difference. But you know what? When he hit, he would hit big.
Do you mind if we take a little look around?
No, go ahead. You ain't gonna find nothing of value in here, but be my guest.
You know, Jedediah, from the beginning it puzzled me. A man with no family, apparently no friends. Why would somebody express concern when he's only been missing a few days?
Yeah, especially $195 worth of concern.
Whoever it was that wrote the note used the word disappearance. That's the kind of word you use when you don't expect a man to be found.
Pawn tickets.
3 of them, covering a period of 4 months.
Well, it's a consistent profile on Stevens.
But if he hit it big every now and then, I can't understand why he didn't redeem these older ones.
Tom, we've got to be honest with each other.
Well, how do you mean?
Look, a lot of things that happen to you aren't intentional, I know, like the fights that you sometimes get into.
They're not my fault, Peg.
I know.
I don't like to be made a fool of.
Sweetheart, I know. But last Thursday, you were waiting for me, and you'd said that you'd cut your hands.
Yeah, but it wasn't much of a cut. Look, it's healed
Tom,
already.
Please. I want to know why. Tom, it was the very next day that Lee asked Mr. Farinelli to hire you.
What What difference does it make what day it was? Hey, I almost forgot. I got you a little present.
Tom, I've told you not to buy me presents we can't afford.
No, these were a bargain. Look, they were only $30. I borrowed it from Lee.
These cost $30.
They're worth a lot more. Maybe a couple hundred.
Tom, they're worth $2, if that.
$2, huh? You mean I was cheated?
Oh, Tom, I've told you not to buy me things.
These weren't worth $30.
Well, everything is worth exactly what you can get, right?
I want my money back.
Well, you beat it. Well, you be getting something you're not looking for.
I want my...
Come on. You want to fight your hair?
No! Stop it. Tom, stop. Come on. Come on. Stop it.
Cheat me!
Tom, come on.
He belongs in a booby hatch.
He
cheated me!
Tom, you could have hurt that man.
But he's the one.
I don't care what he was. Tom, you're too strong to fight with other people. And fighting with this, you want to kill somebody.
Right, he's not breathing. He's dead.
Tom? Tom, did you hear me?
I gotta go back to work.
Each loan was on uncut diamonds.
I'd lend him about 40% a month.
Do you have a question where Stevens was getting these?
Oh, I kidded him about it one time. If he had a rich uncle in South Africa, you know.
Mr. Birch, if you'd had a chance to buy these diamonds, would you have?
Well, in fact, I offered to buy him for more than loan value. He turned me down.
Now, if you had acquired them, what would have been the next step in their disposition?
Well, I'd put him through the Diamond Mart. Go through a broker.
I understand the Diamond Mart is pretty well regulated. Wouldn't there have been some question as to their source?
Oh, create plenty of interest. You know, where rough stones are coming from. Oh, yeah.
But used as collateral in your pawn shop, they would have remained in your vault. Wherever the uncut diamonds came from, he was afraid to peddle them in the open market for fear that they'd be traced back to him. I think we ought to check a little deeper into Stevens' past, ships he worked on.
Incidentally, a list from the paper company came in. Farinelli Freight is listed as one of their customers with that kind of watermark on their stationery.
It seems that all roads still lead to Farinelli's place.
Smuggling operation?
If it is, it's going to be pretty hard to get any information on Stevens' whereabouts.
Hey, look, why don't I get a job on the pier, ask around, look around, and see if I can pick something up?
Like a couple of bog steers?
Or worse, some of those waterfront people play pretty rough.
Look, it can't be any worse in my neighborhood back in Chicago.
Get me Lloyd Sweeney, Dock Workers, Local 81. He owes me a favor.
Hiya, Mr. Farinelli.
Eddie! Finally! I'll be in a warehouse.
Just fill this out, thank you.
I'm sorry, I messed up my application. I made a mistake.
I'll head up another for you.
Do you have any idea when I'll be able to start working?
Not until tomorrow. If you call me after 5, I'll tell you what gang.
Thank you.
Yes, sir?
Did you know about this Jones? This Barnaby Jones, investigator who has been looking for John Stevens?
Yeah, there's been some talk about him.
Not to me. Only now do my people say he's been asking around about what ship Stevens worked on. How come it takes until now for me to find this out?
I mean, what's a sweat? I figured he worked for a bill collector, or maybe even the Sharks.
Or maybe those people in Amsterdam who are looking to get the stones back.
Yeah, that's a good possibility. So maybe it is. I mean, what's Jones going to find out? I mean, there's just the three of us.
Tom Landry makes it 4. And I want it should go back to 3.
Oh, Mr. Farinelli, I mean, Tom doesn't know anything about our business.
He knows about Stevens. And if this Jones, he should also find out. Yeah, maybe he'll start to put 2 and 2 together.
I mean, Tom won't talk. I mean, for crying out loud, he thinks he killed him.
Then he should be punished, like all murderers. Eddie, you'll take measures.
Hey, Mr. Farinelli, now, come on, please. I mean, I've known him since he's with kids.
So, you will not be asked to do anything beyond making certain that Tom is here for overtime work tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, Eddie, I've been looking for you. Listen, I'm sorry about what happened the other day, you know, losing my temper like that. I didn't... Hey! Come on! Fell on him.
Go on, get the barrel off.
I'm not even going to work this morning. I'm so worried about Tom. He's never stayed out all night before. If you see him, let me know, okay?
Mrs. Landry? Could we have a little talk?
Sure, what can I do for you?
This letter that I got asking me to look for John Stevens is written on the same typewriter as an employment application that got into my hands. Your typewriter.
I haven't been too clever about all this, have I?
When we got home that night, Tom hid the wallet in his closet. Do you know, I don't think he remembers that he did that.
Memory's that bad.
We got married right after we graduated from high school. He came back from the war. He barely remembered who I was. Slowly, things are beginning to get better, but it's going to be a long time before his memory is anywhere close to being normal.
Are the children?
No. Tom's about all I can handle. But if he's killed somebody, then he's got to be put away.
You feel that whatever it was that happened that night, the foreman, Lee Wallace, was involved?
Well, the way Lee's been going out of his way recently for Tom, there's just got to be something going on between them.
Well, we'll see what your husband has to say. Can you think of any place he may have stayed overnight?
I've been racking my brain, no.
Why did you come to me instead of the police?
I've asked myself that question. I come up with a pretty ugly answer. Did I hire you in secrecy, hoping that you'd find Tom guilty of something and that he'd be put away and I'd be relieved of all this? That's a pretty awful thing for a loving wife to say. And I do love him. That's the hardest part.
you been all night?
I got scared. I stayed in the scrap yard. Eddie tried to kill me. I didn't do anything.
All right. Now listen to me. Did you talk to anyone?
No, I tried to tell him I was sorry, but he...
Well, you forget about that. Now listen carefully. I want you to find some place to hide. And then I want you to call me. Call me at 1 o'clock. And Tom, don't talk to anyone.
Don't talk to anyone.
That's right. Don't talk to anyone. Yeah. Now go on. Go on, find a place and stay put. Now, Tom, you remember, you call me 1 o'clock. Yeah, Mr. Farinelli, please. All right, when did he say he'll be back? All right, look, have him call Lee Wallace down at the warehouse as soon as he gets back. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Wallace, my name is Jones. As you probably know, I'm investigating the disappearance of John Stevens.
Disappearance? He was an itinerant dock worker. I mean, they're here today, gone tomorrow.
Well, Mr. Stevens had worked here for 6 months. That's hardly here today and go tomorrow.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Stevens worked on Thursday night. Did you see him leave that night?
Yes. Yes, I'm sure I did. Well, look, Mr. Jones, I've got a shipment to get out, so you'll have to excuse me. I've got to get back to work. What are you doing over there? Hey, I said, what are you doing over here?
It's part of the overland shipment.
Overland shipment? Yeah. The overland shipment is in the zebra section.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, it's my first day. I made a mistake.
I'll make sure it doesn't happen again, or it'll be your last.
Tom, where have you been?
I sneaked in the back way so nobody would see me.
Why didn't you come home last night?
I got cold sleeping in Mullen's scrapyard.
Why did you run away from the warehouse after the accident?
I had to think about people believing me that it was an accident.
You tried to tell me there's reason to believe it wasn't an accident?
I don't know. I gotta talk to Lee.
Lee again? What are you two involved with?
Nothing. It's... Stevens' wallet.
Tom, I hired a private investigator. A man named Jones. He was just here. I hired him to find out what happened to John Stevens.
You would do that to me?
Tom, we've got to talk about this.
Do you want them to catch me? Send me away? Is that what you want?
Please, all
do you
gotta
want
do is
that?
tell them the truth.
The truth is, I killed Stevens. His body's in the bay.
And like last night, it was an accident.
How did it happen?
He was fighting with Lee Stevens. I don't know. I yanked him off. I threw him. He hit his head, I guess.
Lee was there. He's a witness to it being an accident. What are you so afraid of?
With this Jones fella around, the cops are gonna be here.
Tom, if you run, you're just gonna look more guilty. Tom, please, you've got to trust me.
Trust you? After what you've done to me?
Thank you, Lieutenant. As soon as I sort something out with one of my clients, I'll get back to you. I may have something helpful.
Thank you very much.
The police just fished John Stevens' body out of the bay. Cause of death was a knife wound.
Oh, no. After hearing all about Tom and Peggy Landry and their problems, I was rather hoping for a happy ending.
Could you give me a rundown on your phone calls?
Well, on that info JR phoned in about the mysterious crates in Farinelli's warehouse. Helmon Limited is a novelty company in Amsterdam, but the parent company is an outfit in Johannesburg known to be a big speculator in uncut gems.
It's very interesting.
Most interesting, the parent company reported a theft of $4 million in uncut diamonds about 18 months ago. They've already collected on the insurance.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Landry. Oh, yes, please.
Come in, Miss Landry. My daughter-in-law, Betty Jones.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Mr. Jones, Tom came home about an hour ago. He got really upset when I told him about you, and he told me that he had killed John Stevens.
Did he say why?
He said it was an accident, that he must have struck his head.
John Stevens died of something more than a blow on the head. The police just fished him out of the bay. Cause of death was a knife wound.
Tom didn't say anything about a knife. He was just helping Lee Wallace in a fight, and he just pushed Stevens.
I told you Tom's not done. Man, what do you expect him to do? Just stand there and let Eddie kill him?
The big mistake was when I let you talk me into giving him a job. Before that, it could have been handled without calling attention to this place of business.
I tell you, I could have handled Tom. He does what I say.
He does what you say. You say call at 1 o'clock. Do you hear the phone ringing?
He'll call. He'll call.
No mistake this time, Lee. Look, we'll have rumors that friends of Eddie, they wanted to even matters. You understand, this must be done. See, when a thing is necessary, all quibbling ends.
Okay. Okay, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, hello? Yeah, it's me, Lee. You said to call you.
Yeah, where are you, Tommy?
I'm at the old amusement park.
Okay, the old amusement park. All right, now look, I want you to wait for me at the park. I've got something very important to tell you. Right? Right, kid.
Barnaby Jones' office, may I help you?
Betty, hi, is Barnaby there?
Oh, no, JR. He's driving Mrs. Landry home.
Well, I just found out that her husband Tom is at the old amusement pier. I don't know what's going on, but Lee Wallace is on his way over there to meet him.
I'll try and contact him at the Landry home.
Okay, tell him that I'm on my way to the pier. Goodbye.
on, Peggy. Come on. Hold on.
Oh, Tom, it's wonderful.
Having fun?
Oh, yes.
I did it! I did it!
You won the Cupid doll. Thank you, Tom. I'll treasure it always.
Don't be afraid. Hold on.
Oh, we're so high. Hold me tight.
Scared?
I'll show you some scared. Come on again.
Come on, let's do it. Come on. Oh, my
it almost took my breath away. Oh, Tom, I love you so much.
And I love you, Peggy. Forever. Forever.
Hey, it's like you were asleep on your feet, Tommy.
It was so real. Peggy was with me. We were going on the rides.
Yeah. Yeah, we had some good times this old park.
But Lee, I remembered that night. It's all so clear. The Cupid doll I won for Peggy. Lee, I'm remembering a night that happened years ago.
So you remembered. Come on, big deal.
Lee, it's never happened like that before. Everything before was always so vague, fuzzy, you know, like seeing things through a dark curtain.
Hey,
It's the
Tom,
first
Tom, listen to me. I gotta explain something to you. You see, me and Mr. Farinelli, well, he's been using a warehouse to bring stuff in from out of the country. Uncut diamonds.
You mean he's smuggling diamonds past customs?
Yeah, more or less. It's so complicated, I can't explain it. It's just millions of dollars involved, and, oh, somebody already collected insurance on it, and...
You shouldn't be mixed up in something like this.
Yeah, tell me. You know, sometimes you get one foot in quicksand, and the other one just follows, you know?
What's that for, huh?
You see, it was me that killed Stevens, not you. Yeah, I knifed him before you even touched him. You just got yourself involved in the middle of everything, Tommy.
So you gotta kill me.
Tommy, I ain't got any choice, Tom. I have no choice.
Wallace!
You wait here, Mrs. Landry.
Order, Wallace!
Wallace! Police are at the warehouse with search warrants. They're questioning Farinelli. You know what that means? Can we talk?
You animal. You're nothing but an animal.
Tom!
Tom! Don't do it!
He's crazy! He's gonna pull that trigger! Just like you did. You wanted me dead.
Tom, think.
That's what I'm doing. I'm thinking about what he did to me. My best friend.
Think about what you're doing. That's it. Think it through. What you are doing. Think of Peggy. Think. How bad is it?
I'll be all right.
Call an ambulance.
I even remember buying you the ring that day, you know? And it was after I won you that Cupid doll and we were walking to the beach that you said yes. Do you remember?
Oh, I remember. I'll be back in a minute, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. You know, he remembers the day we got engaged. It's a little thing, but it's remarkable.
Good. I have something for you. $195 exactly.
Oh, no, Mr. Jones.
Yes, you see, there is an insurance company involved, and they tell me that they're delighted to pick up my expenses in exchange for finding the stones.
Thank you.
Barnaby, is it really true about the insurance company picking up the tab?
Sure, as soon as I have a little talk with them.
Chapter 1. The Quiet Shadow on the Pier. The late afternoon fog rolled gently over the wooden timbers of the Farinelli Freight Company pier, curling in soft silver ribbons around the massive iron bollards and the hulls of docked merchant vessels. In the amber glow of the descending sun, the waterfront carried a peaceful, rhythmic pulse, accompanied only by the distant crying of gulls and the persistent, soothing lap of coastal water against wet pilings. Beneath the corrugated roof of Warehouse No. 7, however, the silence was shattered by the quick, nervous scuffling of work boots over damp concrete. John Stevens leaned against a towering wooden crate labeled for transatlantic shipment, clutching a worn canvas rucksack close to his chest. His breath hitched as a tall, broad-shouldered figure stepped out from behind a stack of mahogany pallets. "Figures you are the one with your hands in the till, Stevens," Lee Wallace said, his voice calm, steady, and devoid of genuine malice, yet tinged with the cold reality of a man cornered by his own choices. Stevens attempted a tight, sheepish grin, adjusting his jacket collar against the coastal chill. "How did you pick the lock, Lee? It was supposed to be a piece of cake. Look, Mr. Farinelli has got himself a very sweet thing going here. You have got, what, maybe $250,000 a month coming through in uncut stones from abroad? It is practically an endless river." "Empty your pockets onto the crate," Lee instructed quietly, keeping his hands resting firmly in his coat pockets. "Look, come on, Lee," Stevens pleaded, raising his palms in a placating gesture. "All I am doing is skimming a couple of $1,000s a month. That is small change compared to what passes through these cargo bays. I figure I've got some bargaining position here, right? We can split it. We can walk away as partners." "I said, empty your pockets," Lee repeated, his tone resolute. "Nice and easy. Now, do not turn around. All right, Stevens. Now we're going to take a little ride to Mr. Farinelli's house. He likes things settled in person, properly and neatly. Now move." A sudden commotion flared in the dim light. Stevens lunged forward in a desperate attempt to break free toward the waterfront alleyway. The two men collided against the towering stacks of shipping containers, crates wobbling under the impact. Just outside the adjoining supply office, the door creaked open. Peggy Landry stepped out onto the gravel path, adjusting a warm woolen scarf around her neck and carrying a neat leather handbag. Behind her, standing tall with a broad, gentle frame and an innocent, searching expression in his eyes, was her husband, Tom Landry. "Hi, Tom," Peggy said with a soft, affectionate smile, looking up at him with genuine tenderness. "Not finished yet?" Tom rubbed the back of his neck, his boyish smile beaming through his tired features. "Oh, just 5 more minutes, Peg. I was just organizing the hand trucks." "What did you do today?" Peggy asked gently, straightening his collar. "Did you keep yourself busy?" "No," Tom replied with a gentle sigh of longing. "Not much doing. But the dockhands say a ship will be unloading toward the end of next week. Maybe I can get a day or 2 of good honest work in. It would feel wonderful to earn a proper paycheck again." "Of course you will, sweetheart," Peggy encouraged him, touching his arm softly. "Hey, why do you not go pick up some hot Chinese food over at Chang's restaurant? It will warm us up." "That is a great idea," Tom answered enthusiastically, his eyes brightening. "I will meet you at the corner in 10 minutes, okay?" "Okay," she said, watching him walk toward the main gate with a fond, protective warmth in her gaze. As Tom rounded the corner of warehouse number 7, the violent sound of wooden planks splintering caught his ear. Through the high doorway, he saw Lee Wallace struggling on the concrete floor, grappling with Stevens, who was thrashing wildly in an attempt to escape into the harbor night. "Come on, Lee. Give me a break," Stevens gasped. "Farinelli, that is not about you, it is about me," Lee shouted. Tom rushed forward, his protective instincts surging instantly. "Lee, is he hurting you, Lee?" I am okay, Tom," Lee yelled, trying to push Stevens away against the edge of a heavy iron loading dolly. "Why was he fighting with you?" Tom asked, reaching out with his immense strength to pull the struggling man off his childhood friend. "Look, it was just an argument, but I will take care of it," Lee said frantically, breathing heavily. "Now, thanks, Tom, but get out of here." Tom caught Stevens by the shoulders to separate the two men, but in the chaotic tangle of limbs and shadows, Stevens twisted violently, slipped on an oily patch of floor, and struck the heavy metal base of the sorting table with a dull, heavy thud. He collapsed onto the floorboards and lay motionless. Tom knelt down instantly, his large hands trembling as he touched the man's shoulder. "Lee, he is not breathing." "I said I will take care of it," Lee insisted, his voice cracking with rising panic. "Now will you just go?" "Lee, there is blood," Tom whispered, horror washing over his open, vulnerable face. His broad hands were smudged with dark red stains. "I did not want to hurt him. I did not mean to do anything bad. I was only trying to help you. Will you forget what you saw and go?" Lee urged, stepping over the fallen figure. "I was only trying to help," Tom repeated, tears welling in his wide, bewildered eyes. You are right, Tom," Lee said, his tone shifting into an urgent, manipulative hush. "He is not breathing. He is dead." "Dead," Tom breathed, clutching his head in sheer disbelief. "I did not mean to kill him. I truly did not." "Hey, it is not your fault," Lee said quickly, grabbing Tom by the coat shoulders and staring into his wide eyes. "Yeah, he hit his head, and you were just trying to help me, right? That is what happened. But listen to me, Tom. I am not going to let you down. I am not going to let them say you are some dummy with a little bit too much muscle and have them throw you into an institution. Do you hear me? Now look, I want you to get out of here right now and keep quiet. Not a single word to anyone. Now go." "Lee, are you sure? Will you just get out of here now, Tom? Go on." Tom stumbled backward out into the cool evening air, his mind spinning into a terrifying fog. A few blocks away, at the quiet corner beneath the streetlight, Peggy stood waiting patiently under the warm glow of the lamppost. When Tom approached, his head was down and his shoulders were hunched in profound distress. "Tom," Peggy said, stepping forward with concern. "I thought you were going to Chang's. You did not forget the dinner, did you?" "No," Tom muttered, unable to meet her gaze. "I am going now." Peggy caught his sleeve, her sharp eyes immediately noticing his trembling posture and the dark marks on his skin. "Tom, is something wrong? Tom, your hands are bleeding. What have you been doing?" Tom pulled his hands back quickly, tucking them into his pockets with a frantic shake of his head. "I cut myself on some metal scrap. I did not do anything, Peggy. I swear, I did not do anything at all." Chapter 2. The Morning Mail and a Curious Fee. The morning sunlight streamed cheerfully through the lace curtains of the Jones Private Investigation Agency in Los Angeles. The office was cozy, filled with polished oak bookshelves, warm leather armchairs, and the reassuring aroma of freshly brewed Colombian coffee and pipe tobacco. At the large study table, Jedediah Romano Jones, affectionately known to everyone as JR, was slumped over a massive stack of thick legal volumes. His chin rested in his hand as he rubbed his tired eyes, reciting legal terminology under his breath with exaggerated exasperation. Substantive law defines the... What is it again? JR groaned, turning a page. The content of the norms of behavior that are to be legally enforced. Yes. The content of the norms of behavior that are to be legally enforced. Adjective law deals with the rules of practice. Oh boy. It seems like everything you have got to memorize just to become a lawyer could fill the Grand Canyon twice over. Barnaby Jones, sitting comfortably behind his large mahogany desk in a tweed vest and crisp white shirt, looked up over the rims of his reading glasses. A warm, grandfatherly smile crinkled the corners of his eyes as he stirred a spoonful of sugar into his porcelain teacup. "Well, JR," Barnaby chuckled softly, "if it helps keep your spirits lifted during these marathon study sessions, just keep thinking about all those handsome legal fees you are going to be able to charge once you pass the state bar exam. And think of all the magnificent things you will be able to spend them on." JR smiled broadly, leaning back in his swivel chair and folding his hands behind his head. "Oh, absolutely. Beautiful girls, expensive ocean yachts, fine sports cars. That is the dream right there, Barnaby." At that moment, Betty Jones, smart, graceful, and impeccably organized, walked briskly into the main office from the reception foyer carrying the morning delivery. She held up a small, plain white envelope with an amused twinkle in her eyes. "Speaking of magnificent business," Betty announced cheerfully, "how about opening the morning mail and finding crisp cash inside? The letter is completely unsigned, and inside there is exactly $195. JR sat up straight, instantly energized. An signed letter containing cash. Somebody empties their piggy bank to hire a famous private eye. It is perfectly clear to me, Betty. A classic damsel in distress sending out a silent plea for help." Betty gave him a playful, affectionate look. "You know, JR, there is one profession in this world you should definitely stay away from." "And what is that, my dear cousin-in-law?" JR grinned. "Well, it is certainly not fortune-telling, because your crystal ball is cloudy," she teased gently. Barnaby set his teacup down on its saucer with a gentle clink and extended his hand. "Let me see that envelope, Betty." Betty handed the letter to Barnaby, who unfolded the single sheet of clean, heavy bond paper and read aloud in his measured, resonant voice. "Dear Mr. Jones, a man named John Stevens has disappeared from his job at the Farinelli Freight Company Pier. I hope this money is sufficient to employ you to investigate the matter." JR immediately stood up, leaning over the desk with genuine enthusiasm. "All right, Barnaby. Give me a thumbnail sketch of the sender based on the physical clues, and if I get it right, I get to help you on the case, okay?" Barnaby smiled warmly, nodding. "You are on, young man. Let us hear your deduction." "First of all, the gender of the sender," JR began, gesturing with his index finger. "Female. Because when desperate women find themselves in deep trouble and do not know where to turn, they seek out someone with an impeccable reputation." "Oh, listen to this philosopher." Betty laughed gently, crossing her arms. "Defend your theories, sir." "Okay, look at the money," JR continued smoothly. $195, not $200. It represents $5 bills and single-dollar bills saved up over time. It is clearly someone who is finding it difficult to make ends meet, gathering every last penny she could spare. Barnaby examined the paper closely under the desk lamp, sliding his thumb along the neatly cut top edge. Very good, JR, but let us look at the practical details. The person who typed this is a proficient typist, most likely a professional secretary. The margins and headings are properly spaced. There are no strikeovers, no corrections, and no misspellings. It is obviously not written by a careless student. What about the paper itself? Betty asked, leaning closer. The paper is of exceptional quality, Barnaby pointed out, holding it up against the morning light. There is a distinct watermark here that we should be able to trace to a specific paper supplier. I would say the odds are 5 to 1 that the sender is of working age, used an older standard manual office typewriter rather than an electric machine, and used company stationery because the company letterhead at the very top has been carefully trimmed off with a pair of office shears. Remarkable as always, Barnaby, Betty said with genuine admiration. And it certainly fits. But the real question remains, why would anyone pay $195 of their hard-earned money for something they could easily get for free simply by calling the police department's Missing Persons Bureau? Barnaby took off his glasses and tapped them thoughtfully against the desk. That, my dear Betty, looks like our $195 question. And I believe it is high time we paid a friendly visit to the Farinelli Freight Company Pier. Chapter 3. High Stakes at the Harbor. Across town, inside the richly decorated private study of a Mediterranean-style villa overlooking the marina, Mr. Farinelli sat behind an ornate mahogany desk. Dressed in an expensive tailored suit, he was calmly peeling an apple with a silver fruit knife, radiating the cool confidence of a man accustomed to total authority. Standing respectfully near the doorway were Lee Wallace and Eddie, Farinelli's cold-eyed chief associate. Just outside the large double doors, Tom Landry waited nervously in the carpeted hallway, twisting his woolen cap between his broad fingers. "Now you wait right here, Tom," Lee whispered softly before closing the door. "Look, I am scared, Lee," Tom muttered under his breath, his brow furrowed with anxiety. "What if Mr. Farinelli does not give me a job like you promised, huh?" "Tommy, I told you that I will look after you," Lee assured him with a gentle pat on the arm. "Everything is going to be just fine." Inside the office, Farinelli looked up from his desk, setting his silver knife down on a porcelain dish. "Good morning, Lee. Well, I see you brought him." "Yes, Mr. Farinelli, he is outside," Lee replied, stepping forward. "Eddie and I were just discussing your little problem," Farinelli said smoothly, leaning back in his high-backed leather chair. "The unfortunate incident you had with that thief Stevens the other night." "Well, as I explained to Eddie," Lee said, choosing his words carefully, "I tried to bring Stevens here directly so you could question him in private, but the big fellow jumped me in the warehouse." Eddie scoffed from the corner, his arms crossed over his chest. "Our primary concern now, Lee, is that Stevens might not have been working alone. Perhaps he had a partner who also discovered that we are bringing in those special shipments of uncut diamonds from overseas." "Meaning you made a serious error in judgment by not letting me handle Stevens from the start," Eddie added with a sharp sneer. 5 minutes alone with him in a back room, and I would have had him coughing up the entire story of his life, including every contact he had from here to Rotterdam. Lee stood his ground firmly. "We do not have to worry about Stevens working with other people. He was a complete loner, Mr. Farinelli. He acted entirely on his own greed." Farinelli smiled thinly, though his dark eyes remained calculating. "You know, Lee, it is simply my nature to worry. It is how I have stayed successful in business for 30 years. Take that young man outside, for instance. It worries me that you needed his assistance in handling Stevens." "Tom thought I was in real danger," Lee explained earnestly. "He saw Stevens attack me, and he just came barging in out of pure loyalty." "Oh, and that is why you insisted on setting him up with a steady job on the pier?" Farinelli asked, raising an eyebrow. "Because he is a good Samaritan? I want him on the pier so I can keep him close under my wing," Lee replied steadily. Farinelli nodded slowly. "Because you and Tom were close friends when you were young boys together. That is a very touching, human reason to want to protect a friend, Lee. But sentiment is rarely the best way to conduct a serious enterprise." "It is not just sentiment, Mr. Farinelli," Lee whispered, leaning closer over the desk. "It is also our best insurance. Tom genuinely believes that he is the one who caused Stevens' demise. If the authorities ever look into this, Tom takes the entire blame, and we remain completely untouched." Farinelli stroked his chin thoughtfully, considering the proposition. "All right, we shall see. Bring the young man in." Lee opened the door and gestured into the hallway. "Come in, Tom." Tom stepped awkwardly into the opulent room, clutching his cap against his chest. Farinelli offered a warm, welcoming smile that masked his calculating nature. "Tom, my boy," Farinelli said cordially, "I have seen so little of you since your lovely wife Peggy came to work in our administrative office." "Yes, sir. Well, Tom stammered politely. "Now you will both be working for our company," Farinelli announced warmly. "I hope that brings you genuine satisfaction." Tom's face lit up with profound gratitude. "Oh boy, yes, sir. It sure does. I really want to thank you, Mr. Farinelli. It means the world to Peggy and me to have steady work." "You are very welcome, Tom," Farinelli replied with a gracious wave of his hand. "You may wait outside in the car for Lee." "Yes, sir. Thank you again, sir." Tom beamed, turning around and walking briskly out the door. Once the door clicked shut, Eddie shook his head with open disdain. "Oh boy, that fellow has truly lost his marbles." "No, Eddie, he is not dumb," Lee countered sharply, a touch of defensive loyalty rising in his voice. "He simply has trouble remembering things due to a severe injury. It was an accident during his military service in Vietnam, as his wife Peggy explained. A heavy concussion when a landmine went off near his vehicle." Farinelli nodded with an air of solemn reflection. "We must all do what we can to support our returning veterans." "Thank you, Lee. You may return to the docks." "Thank you, Mr. Farinelli." As Lee exited, Farinelli turned his attention back to Eddie, his voice dropping to a low, authoritative murmur. "Now, Eddie, I think it would be wise if you spent the next few days down at the pier as well." Eddie raised an eyebrow. "Keeping an eye on whom, exactly?" "On everyone," Farinelli replied coolly. "A smooth operation requires total harmony." Chapter 4. Inquiries and Memories. Later that morning, in the modest, sunny apartment shared by Tom and Peggy Landry, the kitchen table was covered with colorful employment applications, insurance forms, and union registration papers. Peggy sat across from Tom, patiently guiding his pencil through the complex lines of legal text. "There are always a zillion forms to fill out whenever you start a new position," Peggy said with a cheerful, encouraging laugh. Tom looked up, his face radiant with childlike happiness. "Hey, Peg, let us celebrate tonight, okay? A big dinner with steak and sparkling cider." Peggy smiled warmly, reaching across the table to squeeze his hand. "How about if we wait until you receive your very first official paycheck next Friday? That will make the celebration even sweeter." "Okay, that sounds fair," Tom agreed eagerly, returning to his paperwork. Then, after a brief pause, Peggy watched his earnest brow and asked gently, "You know, Tom, Lee arranged this job for you rather suddenly. You have asked him several times in the past for steady dock work, and there was never an opening. Did something happen to make him change his mind?" Tom's pencil froze for a split second, a flicker of deep confusion crossing his features before he forced a bright smile. "No, of course not, Peg. Lee is my best friend in the world. That is all. He just wanted to help us out." "Of course, sweetheart," Peggy said soothingly. "Just finish filling out these last two sections, and I will take them into the office with me." Half an hour later, at the Farinelli Freight Company Pier Administrative Building, Peggy was busy organizing folders behind the front reception counter when the glass door swung open with a pleasant chime. Barnaby Jones stepped into the reception area, taking off his hat with old-fashioned courtesy. His kind blue eyes took in the clean, busy environment with quiet appreciation. "May I help you, sir?" Peggy asked politely, stepping up to the wooden counter with a professional smile. "Good morning, ma'am," Barnaby greeted her warmly. "My name is Barnaby Jones. I am a private investigator. I am looking for a gentleman named John Stevens. I understand he has been employed here on the docks." Peggy's expression stiffened ever so slightly, a shadow of deep concern passing over her eyes, though she maintained her composed demeanor. Well, yes, Mr. Stevens is an employee here, but he has not reported for work since last Thursday evening. No word from him at all? Barnaby asked gently. No, he did not telephone, Peggy replied, pulling open a metal filing drawer. He started working for our freight company about 6 months ago. Before that, his records show he served in the Merchant Marine. Any family listed on his emergency contacts? No, none at all, Peggy said, writing down a line on a small notepad and handing it to Barnaby. Here is the local residential address he provided when he was hired, 214th Avenue. Barnaby looked at the paper, then smiled warmly at her desk nameplate. Thank you very much, Mrs. Landry. You are welcome, Mr. Jones. Barnaby paused, resting his hands lightly on his walking cane, his keen eyes studying her calm demeanor. Has anyone here made an official attempt to look into why he failed to come to work? Peggy folded her hands neatly on the desk. No, Mr. Jones. It is really not unusual for a single warehouse workman to take a sudden leave of absence without notice. Barnaby chuckled softly with genuine admiration. I truly admire the way you contain your natural curiosity, Mrs. Landry. You have not asked me why an investigator would be looking for Mr. Stevens. Peggy offered a soft, slightly wistful smile. Well, Mr. Jones, I figured that a private investigator likes to keep his business private. A very wise philosophy, ma'am, Barnaby said, tipping his hat respectfully. I wish you a very pleasant afternoon. Outside on the breezy loading dock, Tom was stacking light wooden pallets under Lee Wallace's supervision when he caught sight of Barnaby walking down the pier toward his car. Tom dropped a pallet and hurried over to Lee, his voice trembling with renewed dread. Lee, that man, that older gentleman in the coat, just came out of the office. What if he is asking about Stevens? Lee grabbed Tom firmly by the forearm and pulled him behind a tall cargo container. Look, Tommy, calm down. There could be 16 different reasons why somebody is inquiring about Stevens. He could have skipped out on his back rent, or he could have walked away from debts, and people are just trying to settle their accounts. Yeah, I never thought of that, Tom murmured, exhaling with relief. That is just the point, Tom, Lee emphasized, staring intently into his friend's eyes. You only have to remember one crucial thing. Nobody, absolutely nobody in the city will believe your word that what happened that night was an innocent accident. If they learn that you and I are best friends, they will assume we are covering for each other. Will you just trust me? Tommy, really trust me to handle everything. Surely. I trust you. Tom nodded earnestly. All right then, Lee said with an encouraging clap on Tom's shoulder. Go on back to the warehouse and finish stacking those pallets. Chapter 5. The Trail of Rough Stones. Meanwhile, across the industrial district at 214th Avenue, J.R. Jones accompanied Barnaby up a creaking flight of stairs in a rundown boarding house. The building manager, an elderly gentleman in suspenders named Mr. Cooley, unlocked the door to Stevens's small, sparsely furnished room. You have not seen him since Thursday morning, Mr. Cooley? Barnaby inquired, stepping into the room and glancing around the tidy yet bare quarters. Thursday morning, yes, sir, Mr. Cooley replied, leaning against the doorframe. That was the exact day he was walking out to his shift, and I said to him, Hey, Mr. Stevens, how about paying up this month's rent? And he just gave me a broad grin and said, Cooley, go drop dead, and walked right out into the sunshine. J.R. smiled wryly. A real charmer, this fellow. You seem to know Mr. Stevens fairly well, Barnaby noted. Did he have regular visitors dropping by? Oh, he had visitors, all right, Mr. Cooley grunted with a shake of his head. The kind of unfriendly acquaintances who leave a man limping and promising even worse trouble if debts are not settled immediately. Loan sharks, to be exact. Was he heavily in debt to them? J.R. asked. Well, this clown would wager money on absolutely anything that moved, Cooley explained. Horse races, dice games, card tournaments. Most of the time he was broke, but every now and then when he hit a lucky streak, he would hit it big. Do you mind if we take a brief look around the room, Mr. Cooley? Barnaby asked politely. "Go right ahead, gentlemen." Cooley waved his hand. "You will not find anything of immense value in here, but be my guests." As Cooley stepped back into the hallway, Jer searched through the wooden bureau drawers while Barnaby examined the small nightstand. "You know, J.R.," Barnaby observed thoughtfully, "this situation presents an intriguing puzzle. Here is a man with no family and apparently no close friends, living hand-to-mouth. Why would an anonymous benefactor express such deep concern over his absence after only a few days? Especially $195 worth of concern," J.R. agreed. "Whoever typed that letter used the specific word, disappearance. That is a word chosen by someone who does not expect the missing person to return on his own." J.R. pulled open the top drawer and whistled softly, holding up 3 small yellow slips of paper. "Look at this, Barnaby. Pawn tickets. 3 of them, covering a period of 4 consecutive months, all from Birch's pawn shop on 4th Street." Barnaby took the tickets and studied the handwritten notations carefully. That fit Stevens's lifestyle profile perfectly. But if he supposedly hit a large financial windfall recently, it seems strange that he did not redeem these older pawned items. An hour later, Barnaby and J.R. were standing in front of the secure wire counter at Birch's pawnshop. The proprietor, Mr. Birch, an elderly jeweler with thick magnifying spectacles, brought out a heavy ledger and opened it before them. Each of those loans was secured against uncut, rough diamonds, Mr. Birch explained, pointing to the entries. "I lent him roughly 40% of their estimated raw value each month." "Did you ever inquire where Stevens was obtaining uncut stones?" Barnaby asked. Mr. Birch chuckled softly. "I kidded him about it once, asking if he had an extraordinarily wealthy uncle living in South Africa. But in this business, as long as the collateral is authentic, we do not pry into personal backgrounds." "Mr. Birch," J.R. asked, "if you had been given the opportunity to purchase those rough stones outright, would you have bought them?" "In fact, I offered to buy them on 2 separate occasions," Mr. Birch revealed. "I offered him considerably more than the loan value, but he turned me down flat." "And if you had acquired them," Barnaby pursued gently, "what would have been your procedure for reselling them?" "Well, I would have submitted them through the regulated diamond exchange, through an authorized broker," Birch replied. "I understand the diamond exchange is heavily regulated by international trade authorities," Barnaby noted. "Would there not have been questions regarding their exact origin?" "Certainly, rough diamonds always create substantial interest and scrutiny," Birch nodded. "Which explains why Stevens used them solely as loan collateral. In my vault, they remained completely secure and out of the public eye." Barnaby nodded thoughtfully as they thanked the pawnbroker and stepped out onto the sunlit sidewalk. Wherever those stones originated, Stevens was terrified of trying to sell them openly on the commercial market for fear they would be traced directly back to a major cargo theft. "Barnaby," J.R. said, checking his notebook, "the confirmation report from the paper manufacturer just arrived. Farinelli Freight is officially registered as a major client using the exact watermarked bond paper found in our anonymous letter." Barnaby smiled with quiet satisfaction. It seems that all roads continue to lead straight back to Mr. Farinelli's harbor operations. Chapter 4: A Husband's Burden and a Wife's Love. Back at the Landry residence, the afternoon sun cast warm golden rectangles across the living room carpet. Tom sat on the sofa, proudly holding out a small velvet box toward Peggy, who had just returned home from the office. "Tom, we need to be completely honest with each other," Peggy said gently, sitting beside him on the sofa and taking his hand. "What do you mean, Peg?" Tom asked softly, his smile faltering slightly. "Look, sweetheart," Peggy said with deep compassion in her voice. "I know that many of the difficult situations that happen around you are not your fault. You have a heart of gold. But sometimes misunderstandings occur, like the disagreements you occasionally find yourself in." "Those are never intentional, Peg," Tom explained earnestly, looking into her eyes. I do not like seeing people taken advantage of, and I do not like being made a fool of." "I know, my love," Peggy said, stroking his cheek tenderly. "Last Thursday evening, when you met me on the corner, you said you had cut your hand." It was just a tiny scratch, Tom insisted, holding up his palm. See? It is completely healed already. Peggy looked at him with profound emotion. Tom, it was the very next morning that Lee asked Mr. Farinelli to give you a full-time position on the pier. After months of saying there were no openings. Please tell me what happened. Tom hesitated, then quickly changed the subject, opening the velvet box to reveal a pair of sparkling rhinestone earrings. Hey, I almost forgot. I bought you a little present to celebrate our new beginning. Peggy gasped softly, looking at the jewelry with mixed affection and concern. Oh, Tom, I told you not to spend money on expensive presents. We need to save every penny right now. No, Peg, these were an absolute bargain, Tom said proudly. Look, they were only $30. I borrowed the $30 from Lee. The shopkeeper said they were easily worth a couple of $100s. Peggy picked up one of the earrings, examining the lightweight glass and plated metal with a gentle, sympathetic sigh. Tom, sweetheart, these are costume jewelry. They are worth perhaps $2 at most. Tom's smile vanished, replaced by sheer shock and humiliation. $2? You mean the man at the souvenir stand cheated me? Oh, Tom, it is all right, Peggy said quickly, wrapping her arms around his shoulders. It is the thought that matters so much to me. No. Everything should be fair and honest, Tom exclaimed, his sense of justice deeply wounded. I want to get our $30 back. Tom, please stay here, Peggy called out as Tom stood up resolutely and hurried out the front door toward the nearby boardwalk shopping arcade. Within minutes, Tom reached the open-air novelty stall near the pier entrance. The merchant, a slick fellow wearing a checkered vest, looked up casually as Tom slammed the velvet box onto the counter. I want my $30 back, Tom said, his voice deep and firm. All sales are final, buddy, the merchant said dismissively. You bought them fair and square. You told me they were genuine jewels worth $200, Tom stated, leaning forward with his massive frame. You took advantage of me, and I want my money back. The merchant reached beneath the counter and grabbed a wooden club, his voice turning hostile. Get out of here before I call the security guards, you big brute. Tom gripped the merchant's wrist firmly, effortlessly preventing the club from rising. The merchant shouted in fear, attracting a gathering crowd of onlookers. Stop it, Tom, stop. Peggy cried out, having run all the way from their apartment. She threw her arms around Tom's waist, pulling him back with all her strength. Tom, please. Let him go. Tom released the man immediately and stepped back, his chest heaving, looking at the frightened merchant and the stunned crowd with sudden, overwhelming remorse. He cheated me, Peg. Tom whispered, his voice trembling. He was taking advantage of people. Tom, you could have seriously injured that man, Peggy whispered tearfully, guiding him away from the commotion into the quiet shade of a nearby park bench. You are far too strong to lose your temper. Do you understand what could happen if you get into fights? Tom stared at his own hands, his mind flashing back to the cold concrete floor of warehouse number 7 and the motionless form of John Stevens. He is not breathing. He is dead. The memories echoed inside his head like thunder. Tom, did you hear me? Peggy asked softly, touching his trembling shoulder. Tom stood up abruptly, overwhelmed by a rising tide of confusion and guilt. I have to get back to the docks. I have to see Lee. Chapter 7. Uncovering the Scheme. Back at the Jones Agency, JR was speaking on the telephone with a shipping contact while Betty cross-referenced customs manifests on the main desk. Barnaby entered carrying a fresh pot of tea, pouring a cup for each of them. What news do we have from our maritime inquiries team? Betty looked up from her notes, her eyes bright with discovery. Barnaby, the information JR obtained regarding those specialized freight crates in Farinelli's warehouse is fascinating. The overseas shipper, Hellman Limited, is officially registered as an import-export novelty firm in Amsterdam. However, their primary parent corporation is an investment group in Johannesburg known across the continent as a major speculator in uncut gemstones. That is an exceptionally valuable piece of the puzzle, Betty, Barnaby said, nodding with satisfaction. And here's the most interesting part, Betty added, tapping the document. The Johannesburg parent company reported an alleged theft of $4 million in uncut diamonds approximately 18 months ago. They have already collected the full settlement from their international insurance underwriters. JR hung up the telephone and turned around with a triumphant smile. Which means that the entire shipment being smuggled through Farinelli's warehouse is pure profit. They collect the multi-million-dollar insurance payout overseas, smuggle the stones into this country inside legitimate cargo crates, and sell them through private underground channels. Precisely, Barnaby agreed. And John Stevens, working as a warehouse dockhand, must have stumbled upon one of those open crates, realized what was inside, and began skimming stones to fund his gambling habits. At that moment, the reception bell chimed softly. Betty opened the inner door to find Peggy Landry standing in the entryway, looking exhausted and deeply troubled. "Hello," Peggy said softly. "I am Mrs. Landry." Barnaby rose immediately to his feet, with warm hospitality. "Come right in, Mrs. Landry. This is my associate and cousin JR and my daughter-in-law, Betty Jones." "It is a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Landry," Betty said gently, offering her a comfortable armchair. Peggy sat down, clasping her hands tightly in her lap. She looked up at Barnaby, with tears shimmering in her eyes. "Mr. Jones, Tom came home a short while ago. He became extremely upset when I mentioned that an investigator was looking into John Stevens. He confessed to me that he believes he killed John Stevens." Barnaby sat down across from her, his expression filled with gentle understanding. "Did he explain the circumstances, Mrs. Landry?" "He said it was an accident," Peggy explained, her voice trembling. "He said he was trying to protect Lee Wallace during an altercation, and that he pulled Stevens away, and Stevens must have struck his head against the heavy machinery. But Mr. Jones, Tom is the gentlest man in the world. He would never intentionally harm a living soul." Barnaby leaned forward, speaking with calm, reassuring authority. "Mrs. Landry, I have news from the police department. John Stevens's body was recovered from the Harbor Bay earlier this morning. The official medical determination confirms that the cause of death was not a blunt head injury. John Stevens died of a knife wound." Peggy gasped, her hands flying to her mouth. "A knife wound? Tom did not say anything about a weapon. He does not even carry a pocket knife. He was simply trying to help Lee Wallace in the dark." Barnaby placed a comforting hand on her arm. "That tells us that your husband is completely innocent of causing that man's death. He was deceived into believing he was responsible so that he would carry the blame while the real perpetrator walked free." Peggy broke down in tears of overwhelming relief and gratitude. "Oh, thank heaven. Thank heaven." Chapter 8. The Old Amusement Pier. Meanwhile, inside the quiet warehouse office, Farinelli was confronting Lee Wallace with mounting frustration. "The police are beginning to ask questions around the waterfront, Lee," Farinelli said, his voice laced with cold annoyance. "Giving that boy a job was a profound mistake. It drew unnecessary attention to our facility." "Mr. Farinelli, I can handle Tom," Lee insisted, his face pale with stress. "He trusts me completely. He does whatever I tell him." The telephone on the desk rang sharply, breaking the tension. Lee grabbed the receiver instantly. "Hello?" "Yes." "Tommy, where are you?" Through the earpiece, Tom's weary voice came through. "Lee, I am at the old amusement park pier, by the carousel." "All right, Tommy," Lee said quickly, trying to sound calm. "You stay right there. I have something very important to discuss with you. I will be there in 15 minutes. Lee hung up the phone and looked at Farinelli, who nodded with a grim, silent finality. Over at the Jones Agency, the second office line rang. Betty answered swiftly, her face turning serious as JR spoke from a public telephone near the waterfront. "Betty," JR reported urgently, "I was monitoring the warehouse gate. Lee Wallace just drove out in a hurry, heading straight toward the old seaside amusement park. I believe Tom Landry is waiting for him there." "Barnaby is driving Mrs. Landry back to her home right now," Betty replied. I will intercept them immediately via car radio. Tell Barnaby I am heading directly to the amusement park pier, JR said before hanging up. At the abandoned seaside amusement park, the afternoon ocean breeze blew gently through the rusted iron framework of the grand roller coaster and the colorful, weathered wooden horses of the carousel. The park was closed for the season, leaving it quiet, peaceful, and filled with the nostalgic echoes of laughter from summers long past. Tom Landry stood near the boardwalk railing, looking up at the towering Ferris wheel. As he listened to the rhythmic sound of the rolling waves, a sudden, warm light seemed to awaken deep within his mind. The dark, confusing haze that had clouded his memories since the war began to part like morning mist over the ocean. He closed his eyes, and the vibrant colors of 5 years ago returned with vivid clarity. He remembered the bright festival lights of that unforgettable summer evening. He remembered holding Peggy's hand as they ran together toward the game booths, her laughter ringing out like music. He remembered stepping up to the ring toss stand, focusing with all his heart, and winning the large pink Cupid doll for her. "I won it for you, Peggy," his memory echoed with pure joy. "Thank you, Tom. I will treasure it always," she had said, throwing her arms around his neck and kissing his cheek as they rode the carousel together under the starry sky. "Hey, Tommy." Lee Wallace's voice snapped Tom out of his reverie. Lee was walking briskly along the wooden boardwalk, his hands thrust into his coat pockets. "It looked like you were fast asleep on your feet, Tommy," Lee said with a nervous smile. Tom turned around, his eyes shining with a profound, radiant clarity that had not been there for years. "Lee." It was so real. I was remembering Peggy and me. We were going on the rides together. "Yeah, well, we all had some good times at this old park years ago," Lee said dismissively, glancing around the empty boardwalk. "No, Lee, you do not understand," Tom said, his voice filled with awe and wonder. "I remember that entire night. Every single detail is so clear. The Cupid doll I won for Peggy. The walk we took along the shore. Lee, I am remembering a night that happened years ago. It has never happened like that before. Everything before was always so vague, so fuzzy. Like seeing the world through a thick, dark curtain. But now, it is all coming back." Lee looked at Tom with a mixture of pity and mounting anxiety. "Look, Tom, listen to me carefully. I have to explain something to you about what has been going on." "What is it, Lee?" "You see, Mr. Farinelli and I, well, he has been using the freight warehouse to bring in valuable cargo from overseas. Uncut diamonds." Tom frowned in gentle concern. "You mean, he is smuggling diamonds past customs?" "Yeah, more or less," Lee admitted, looking away toward the ocean. "It is complicated, Tommy. There are millions of dollars involved. But look, you should never have been mixed up in any of this. Lee, you should not be involved in something illegal either," Tom said earnestly, placing a caring hand on his friend's shoulder. "It is wrong." Lee gave a bitter, sorrowful sigh. "You know, Tom, sometimes a man gets one foot caught in quicksand, and before he knows it, the other foot just follows." Lee reached slowly into his coat pocket, pulling out a heavy revolver. Tom looked down at the weapon, his eyes widening in shock and disbelief. "Lee, what is that for?" "You see, Tommy, it was me who killed Stevens that night," Lee confessed in a trembling whisper. "Not you. I used my knife on him before you even touched him. You just walked into the middle of everything, trying to be a hero." Tom stepped back, his heart shattering at the betrayal of his lifelong friend. "So, you are going to shoot me?" "Tommy, I do not have any choice," Lee said, his hands shaking as he raised the revolver. "I truly do not have a choice." "Hold it right there, Wallace." Barnaby Jones's authoritative voice cut through the ocean air. Barnaby, accompanied by JR and 2 uniformed police officers, stepped onto the boardwalk from the main entrance, while Peggy stood safely behind them with Betty. "Stay right where you are, Wallace," Barnaby called out calmly. "The police are already at the warehouse with search warrants. Mr. Farinelli and Eddie are in custody, and the diamond shipment has been fully secured." Lee spun around in sheer panic, backing away toward the edge of the wooden pier. "Stay back. All of you, stay back." "Tom, Seeing his friend's ultimate betrayal, lunged forward with righteous strength, knocking the weapon from Lee's hand. The revolver clattered across the wooden planks and fell harmlessly into the sand below. Tom gripped Lee by the lapels, his face contorted with deep hurt and anger. "You pretended to be my friend. You tried to make me believe I was a killer." "Tom, stop." Barnaby's calm, steady voice resonated over the boardwalk. "Think, Tom. Think about who you are. Think about Peggy." Tom froze, looking from Lee's frightened face over to where Peggy stood, her hands clasped against her heart, looking at him with boundless love, faith, and devotion. Tom's anger dissolved into peace. He slowly released his grip on Lee's coat and stepped back. "I am not like you, Lee. I would never hurt anyone." The police officers stepped forward immediately, taking Lee Wallace into custody and escorting him quietly off the pier. Peggy ran across the boardwalk and threw her arms around Tom, burying her face in his chest as joyful tears streamed down her cheeks. "Oh, Tom, my wonderful, sweet Tom." Tom held her tightly, lifting her slightly off her feet and burying his face in her hair. "Peggy, I remember everything. I remember the day we got engaged right here by the water. I remember winning that Cupid doll for you, and when we walked to the beach, that was the moment you said you would marry me." Peggy looked up into his clear, radiant eyes, her heart overflowing with happiness. "Oh, Tom, I remember every single second of it too." Chapter 9, A Cheerful Morning and a Generous Tap. The following morning, the sun rose brilliantly over the city, bathing the offices of the Jones Investigation Agency in a golden, cheerful light. The aroma of sweet cinnamon rolls and fresh coffee filled the air. Peggy and Tom Landry sat hand in hand in the comfortable leather chairs across from Barnaby's desk, looking happier and more at peace than they had in years. "Thank you so much for everything, Mr. Jones," Peggy said, her voice filled with profound gratitude. "Tom's memory is continuing to improve with every passing day. The doctors at the Veterans Hospital said that overcoming this emotional shock helped unlock the mental pathways that were blocked by his old injury. It is truly a miracle." "It is the greatest reward in our line of work, Mrs. Landry," Barnaby replied with a warm, grandfatherly smile. Barnaby opened his desk drawer, took out a small white envelope, and slid it gently across the desk toward Peggy. Peggy looked down at the envelope in surprise. "What is this, Mr. Jones?" "That is exactly $195, Barnaby answered with a gentle twinkle in his eyes. "Oh, no, Mr. Jones. We cannot possibly accept this back," Peggy insisted. "You worked tirelessly on our behalf." Barnaby chuckled softly, leaning back in his chair and tapping his fingertips together. "You see, Mrs. Landry, there was a major international insurance corporation involved in this case, and they were more than delighted to pick up all of my investigation expenses in exchange for recovering $4 million worth of uncut diamonds." Peggy and Tom looked at each other with beaming smiles, accepting the envelope with heartfelt thanks. "We are going to use this to celebrate properly tonight," Tom announced proudly, wrapping an arm around Peggy's shoulders. "A wonderful dinner with steak and sparkling cider." "That sounds like a magnificent plan, Tom," Barnaby smiled. After walking the happy couple to the front door and bidding them farewell, Betty and JR returned to the main desk, smiling affectionately at the veteran investigator. "Good morning, Barnaby." JR grinned, leaning against the desk with his arms crossed. "Tell me something honestly. Is it really true that the International Insurance Company agreed to pick up the entire tab for our expenses?" Barnaby took a slow, leisurely sip of his tea, looked over his glasses with a delightfully mischievous smile, and answered smoothly. "Certainly, JR. Just as soon as I have a little talk with them this afternoon." Betty and JR burst into warm, joyful laughter, and the office was filled with the cheerful, comforting harmony of another case successfully and happily resolved.